decides to take a little tour. Goes all through our country. Takes a photo op in front of the equally pagan Statue of Liberty, which is just Semiramis, Ishtar, Isis. Anubis is known as, was the god of the underworld until Osiris went down there and usurped his leadership. So now Anubis serves Osiris. But in the mythology, Anubis' job, he was the god that oversaw the mummification process. Interesting to note that Osiris was the first to be mummified. He makes sure that the mummification process is done right, and then in the Egyptian mythology, when you die and you go to the underworld, he quizzes you to see which way you go. So you take a little test, and he's the one that quizzes you. So this guy's touring all over the country. And he sets up shop in Denver, Colorado, in front of the Denver International Airport. I don't have time to go into it, but if you want to talk about an occult facility, that place is a high occult facility, the Denver International Airport. And we just saw it, didn't we, Patricia? We went to the airport, picked Patricia up. We were up in Colorado over Passover, and I think it's called Blue Calypso or something. I don't know what they call it. It's this big apocalyptic-looking horse in the main entrance of when you go into the Denver International Airport. It's this huge blue horse rising up, and it's got demonic, glowing red eyes. Very scary, freaky-looking thing. And they park Anubis there beside him for almost a year. What's that all about? December 21st, 2012 is what everybody's thinking about right now. But on December 21st, 2010, something very interesting happened. My wife and I are late nighters. It's not uncommon for us to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. And so a lot of times we'll go for a walk just to kind of clear our head of the day or whatever, and we'll go for a walk late at night. This particular night, it was about 2 in the morning when I looked up and I see the moon turning red. The moon goes into a full blood red lunar eclipse for 72 minutes. Now I'm looking at 222 and I'm thinking, wait a minute, 222 Central Standard Time is 322 Eastern Standard Time. And all of a sudden, the Skull and Bones logo starts to make a little more sense to me. Because what is that? A decapitated head on a pile of bones and the number 322. Eastern Standard Time, this moon is going into a blood red lunar eclipse for 72 minutes over the shoulders of Orion, and it looks like a floating decapitated head over the body of Orion. I'm like, this is significant, 72 minutes. Iraq, at that moment, it's nighttime here, it's daytime there. Iraq is announcing its fully formed government. Babylon is rising. And at the same time, the entire planet starts shaking. I go online because I'm seeing all these signs, I'm seeing all these symbols, and I'm going, something's going on here. I start sending out Facebook messages to people and stuff, and I'm just becoming I didn't sleep at all that night because I became a research hound. Man, this guy he's known on YouTube for watching weather anomalies and earthquakes and stuff like that. He posted a live video of the internet seismic servers. You can go online and see the seismic servers that check earthquake activity. All of them are in the black. So the entire planet's shaking as Iraq's announcing its new government and a decapitated head is floating over Orion. Who's Orion? Nimrod. Right after that, we have massive fish and bird die-offs. Remember that? BB, Arkansas was one of the first we heard. Hundreds of thousands of fish beaching themselves, thousands of birds. And what really got my attention was they were breed-specific. It wasn't like a whole pile of birds. It was like one species of bird. And same thing with the fish. It wasn't just all kinds of fish, it was like one species of fish. And this continued to happen until the shooting took place in Arizona, incidentally on Oracle Road, 77, Highway 77, which is where God downloaded the TV series Seed into my head. I was on Oracle Road in Arizona in December of 2009 when I got that revelation for the seed. So when that shooting took place in Arizona, all of a sudden all the fish and bird die-offs fell off of the front page of the news and was buried and then fell off altogether. But it's still happening, guys. The birds and fish die-offs, it's still happening. Very peculiar. Then they added Ophiuchus to the zodiac. And we know the 12 signs of the zodiac, right? Well, they added a 13th one. Good old Cyrus, number 13. Who is Ophiuchus? Well, Ophiuchus in mythology is also known as Asclepius, the god of healing. He's also known as the serpent handler, or the serpent wrestler. What is Asclepius known for? He's most known for raising Orion from the dead. Who's Orion? Nimrod. So they add Ophiuchus, the 13th sign to the zodiac, and he's known for raising Orion from the dead and for emptying Hades. In fact, it got Hades, the individual, so upset that his domain, Hades, was being emptied that he complained to his brother Zeus, and Zeus said, okay, fine, I'll take care of it, and he throws Asclepius up into the skies and he becomes a constellation according to the mythology. So he's known for emptying Hades. Is that interesting that the fourth horse, its rider is death, and what follows behind him? Hades is following behind him. What are all these signs? See, the occult believes this stuff. They're the ones that are putting this stuff out there. But it just so happens to coincide with the scriptures that we believe. Very, very interesting. Could it be that all this is adding up to the resurrection of Osiris, Apollo, Gilgamesh, Orion, Nimrod from the dead? Could it be? And the return of the Nephilim? I have a chapter in my book called The Omega Plan. Again, this is not Thus Saith the Lord. This is Thus Thinketh Rob. I put together a 20-minute video that illustrates what I believe is a timeline of events that have been happening since right about 1990 up to today, that I believe are building up, that are paving the way to what I just said, the resurrection of Osiris Nimrod, and some kind of significant event possibly happening. I'm not saying Thus saith the Lord. I'm just saying that all the signs appear to be something is lining up for December 21st, 2012. Check out this timeline called the Omega Plan.
Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
On August the 17th, 1991, Desert Shield became Desert Storm. The conflict was witnessed by millions through the eye of CNN and the BBC, showing propaganda of the systematic eradication of Saddam's forces by a coalition far superior in technological, political, and economic power. The orchestrators of the war were by no means strangers to controlling major world events. In fact, they have done so for centuries. From the shadows, they have engineered every major war, revolution, and recession. They control everything you read, everything you hear, and everything you see. They have managed to indoctrinate an entire populace to their way of thinking and have infiltrated key positions in places of authority. And it is from the shadows that they have created a new political order, a new economic order, and more sinister, a new religious order. Their ultimate aim is total global domination, and they will stop at nothing to reach their goal. The goal that was outlined in a speech given by former President of the United States, George Bush.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
We talk so much about dispelling myths. How about confirming one? What is this?
Susie, this is the tomb of Osiris,
The god of the underworld. This once extravagant mausoleum, a moat with 4 pillars engraved with hieroglyphics constructed thousands of years ago, was intended to be a shrine for the keeper of the afterlife.
Polls have just now closed in 6 additional states, representing 66 electoral votes.
We must follow no other course. Now it is a seed upon the wind, taking root in many nations. We will confront weapons of mass destruction. We will build our defenses beyond challenge, lest weakness invite challenge. This work continues. The story goes on. And an angel still rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm.
Heard the first one come in. I didn't know what it was. It sounded like a missile.
Oh my God, Ed, another plane just hit the World Trade Center.
Wait, oh my God, the building fell!
We have no idea what caused this.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories concerning the attacks of September the 11th. Malicious lies that attempt to shift the blame away from the terrorists themselves, away from the guilty.
On the morning of September 11th, 2001, 19 men armed with box cutters, directed by a man on dialysis in a cave fortress halfway around the world using a satellite phone and a laptop, directed the most sophisticated penetration of the most heavily defended airspace in the world, overpowering the passengers and the military combat-trained pilots on 4 commercial aircraft before flying those planes wildly off course for over an hour without being molested by a single fighter interceptor. These 19 hijackers, devout religious fundamentalists who like to drink alcohol, snort cocaine, and live with pink hair,